Greetings, beautiful earthlings. My name is Star. If you are new here, I don't know how you found me, but I am super grateful to have you. And if you are returning, y'all the real MVP, you already know. I have a quick one for you today, my friends, mainly because you can already tell I don't really have a voice right now, but I don't have a lot to say about this deck yet. So as you guys know, I have just been gifted this one. This is the Thoth. It could be Thoth, Tot, or Thoth, however you choose to say it. I've always said Thoth, so that's what I'm going to go with. But this is the pocket edition of this deck, and I was gifted this in a Facebook group giveaway. So if you guys are a part of my Facebook group, Tarot Readers Unite, you already know I've shared that group and everything. I try not to share Facebook groups in videos, just for the sake of privacy for everybody involved, if they don't want it, shared on a big scale or whatever. So this one, I did share the link to the Etsy store of the person that had gifted it to me and all of that fun stuff. So I will link below the walkthrough that I did of this deck if you guys are at all interested in it. So for those of you guys who don't know what the Thoth Tarot is, it is the deck created by Aleister Crowley. So the difference between the Thoth Tarot and the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot is a really big one. So I want to preface this by saying this is not a beginner deck at all unless you are starting with this one and not the Rider-Waite-Smith. So the reason that I say that is because there are different systems of tarot reading, and the Rider-Waite-Smith is one of them. It is the most common that mostly all decks are based off of now in this modern age. However, there are also different systems like the Thoth Tarot. There is the Hermetic Tarot. There is like the Marseille, I don't know how to say that. There's tons and tons of different types of tarot, and they are all kind of their own system of reading within themselves. So this is very, very different, not only for the fact that this is created by Aleister Crowley. If you guys don't know who he is, I'm sure you've heard his name somewhere. He's a very big name in the occult realm, I'll put it that way. So I will also link below in the description box a video that I found kind of explaining why this tarot deck is different than any other deck that you're going to pick up. Just like the Rider-Waite-Smith, this one is going to take you years and years and years of study. This is not something you can pick up as a beginner, even as a well-versed reader, and just kind of start reading with. I mean, you can, but it doesn't really mean that you're doing it correctly. So the reason that this one is going to take you so much more time to learn to work with. If you guys have seen my walkthrough or you've seen this deck in any capacity, you'll know that Aleister Crowley changed a lot of the names on the cards, like a lot of them. So he also did a huge revamping of the imagery. It's not in line with the Rider-Waite-Smith at all. He kind of did his own spin on it, and the woman that he worked with on the imagery, Lady Frida Harris, she had also had to go through a pretty grueling creation process of these images for Aleister Crowley. There were a lot of them that he would kind of tell her she needed to keep working on, or they didn't quite fit his vision for the deck. So this one is very entwined with not only the Kabbalah, the Jewish Kabbalah, it's also entwined with Aleister Crowley's own religion or whatever thing he created. I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with it. And the only reason that I never went out of my way to get this tarot deck when I was, first starting out with tarot is because I already knew this was going to be a whole different league of tarot just for the fact that it's Aleister Crowley's deck in and of itself. So I knew a little bit of information about Aleister Crowley. It didn't seem like my thing. It didn't seem like anything I would have gravitated toward. So I just never went out of my way to look at the deck, to get the deck, to, even think about learning the deck. But as I have progressed as a reader over the past couple of years, I have been kind of taking glimpses here and there at not only the Thoth Tarot, but also the Hermetic Tarot and the Marseille Tarot, so that I'm getting kind of a rounded out knowledge of tarot altogether, because you can't just, you know, spend your entire life studying the Rider-Waite-Smith. I mean, I guess you can if you do, you know, kudos to you. I'm not like putting your practice down at all in any way. But for me personally, I feel like the word tarot is so encompassing of so many different types of tarots, so many different systems of reading, so many different religions, so many different, just, oh my gosh, so many different types of history have gone into tarot. And that's why I've never created a like history of tarot video. People keep asking me to do it, but there's so very much that goes into it because of the Hermeticism, the Christianity, the Kabbalah. There's just so very many branches of tarot I could never be able to cover by myself in one video, maybe not even in 10 videos. Like, it's a lot. So that's why I say this one is not a beginner deck unless you are beginning with this deck and you don't touch the Rider-Waite-Smith and you don't touch, you know, the Hermetic Tarot or the Marseille Tarot. You don't touch any of those and you start with this one. Yes, by all means, spend years studying this one. But, you know, as someone who has spent years trying to learn the Rider-Waite-Smith inside and out, really taking a lot of time to study all of the symbology in all of those images and really, you know, starting to delve into that history and starting to see how all of these other modern decks are based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith, it will be extremely difficult for me to jump into this tarot deck. I have been, you know, familiarizing myself with it, of course. This is the little bag that it came in and I thought it was super cute to keep it in there. And, you know, if this was a normal review, you guys know I'd talk about the box, I'd talk about the book, I'd talk about all of that. I don't think it's fair to give this deck a review right now because it's gonna take me a long time to get familiar with it. Not only am I, you know, gonna have to read a whole bunch of books, but I have been kind of nonstop binging content on learning to understand anything that I can grasp onto about this deck in order to give you guys kind of a first look at it, because I definitely don't think it's fair for me to review, you know, the imagery or the cardstock or something and just kind of nonchalantly talk about it like I do all of the other tarot decks, because all of the other tarot decks are essentially coming from the Rider-Waite-Smith, and there's not much else to talk about except what it brings to the table on its own now in this day and age, being a spin-off of the Rider-Waite-Smith, right? So, you know, this deck, clearly it's the pocket edition. This is a smaller one. If you guys have ever seen the normal Thoth Tarot, it's very large cards. They're very glossed. This one is not. So, you know, that's really the only thing that I have to say about this deck. Like, it's tiny, it's cute, it's going to be great to work with. I've already been shuffling through it and a whole lot, and, you know, trying to just spend some good quality time with these cards because the imagery is absolutely incredible. If you guys have never seen this imagery, I really highly suggest that you go check out that walkthrough. I don't have that sped up in any capacity. Aleister Crowley also does incorporate astrology into this deck, much like the Hermetic Tarot, how it has, you know, the symbols of not only the planets, but also the zodiac signs on each card that is associated with that card. But, you know, just because so many of these names are changed, so many of the ideas behind each of these cards are changed, and then you notice, I don't know if you guys can see that. It says like swords behind the word Queen of Swords. That's kind of how all of your cards are here. This one says trumps behind the Empress. And that's kind of the only way that you'll be able to tell what these cards are, to be honest. You know, taking a first glance at it. See, this one says worry. I'm sure you can deduce that's like the five of discs. There's 5 discs in there, but some of them I saw are just really outrageous. They don't have any type of like tell. Of course, I'm not going to find any of them right now, but if you guys do want to take 3 minutes out of your day to go check out that walkthrough, I highly recommend it, because this artwork is incredible. I will give it that. And it does also have like this really immense energy, the way that the Hermetic Tarot also does. So you guys know that I was gifted the wooden Hermetic Tarot by my friend Jack a while back for my birthday, almost about a year ago now. And when I had first gotten that deck, I was like super obsessed with it. I could not put it down. I couldn't stop looking at it. I had never seen anything like that before. And that's because the Hermetic Tarot has such incredibly ridiculous imagery the way that this one does. It has the astrological symbols incorporated in that deck, and then it's made of alderwood, so clearly that one is, you know, really crazy energy to me. But this one is the same way. Like, I just don't want to put it down, but I don't know how to use it. So, you know, I want you guys to stick around if you're very interested in ever seeing, you know, how I start learning about this deck, how I start working with this deck. I'm definitely going to give you guys updates because I feel like this is something that a lot of beginners are going to see and going to question at some point in their tarot journey, especially if you're like me, you're still kind of very new to tarot. I've been doing it for about 4 years, and I've seen this deck lots and lots of times, and every person that I've ever seen use it always say the same thing. It's a great deck. It's my favorite deck. No nonsense kind of deck. Sounds like a great deck to use, right? But again, it's years and years worth of study, and I understand that, and that's why I had never gotten it before, because I knew I would have to buy the deck and the book, not only, you know, Aleister Crowley's book about the deck, but also the Understanding the Thoth Tarot deck, and then, or book, and then, you know, 10 other books to go with it, and then you have to start kind of understanding Kabbalah and astrology to go with that. Now, keep in mind, you do not have to learn astrology to do tarot. You do not have to learn the religions behind these things to do tarot, like Kabbalah and Christianity and Hermeticism. However, if you plan to be a reader for the rest of your life and you're not just doing this as a passing fancy, I would really highly suggest starting to take tiny bits of time to start doing some research, start learning about these things, start you know, gathering tools for it, for research, for, you know, books, videos, documentaries, whatever, because every tiny little bit of knowledge that you gather in your tool belt about these things that went into making these tarot decks are going to help you not only understand why these tarot decks are the way they are, but it's also going to help you add to your the way that guy, Joe says, the video that I have linked down there for you guys, Tarot by Joe, he said it will add to your psychic range of motion. So it's going to basically give you more vocabulary, more books in your brain about what it is you are reading from. And that's going to help you not only in your personal readings, but in your readings for clients. You're going to have more of a thesaurus, so to speak, to actually work from. You're not going to be grasping at straws. You're not going to have to stop and be like, what does this mean? Because like Joe says, or like Joe said, I don't know if he quoted this from somebody else, but tarot should not only be intuitive. Yes, you can entirely read tarot off of intuition. It should not be that way, however. Every person who has been doing tarot for years and years and years, I can guarantee you they are not 100% not at all versed on anything they're reading. You have to learn about the history of the things that you are doing. You have to learn the rules. You have to learn the symbology and the backbone and the structure and the skeleton of what it is you're doing, because you can't just talk the talk, you have to walk the walk. So if you guys are at all interested in being a like long time tarot reader, and this is something that has been catching your eye, definitely take a look at it. Put it off to the side for a little while. Wait till you have the time to dedicate to learning it. Because I had told the girl who was gifting me a deck, she gave me a couple to choose from. I told her which ones I did not have, and I told her, I trust your intuition of whatever deck is coming to me. And I also told her that I never bought this deck because I felt like it would come to me when the time was right to learn it. Again, same thing with the Hermetic Tarot. I know I'm going to have to buy books and books and books, and I'm going to have to spend a lot of time dedicating to it, a lot of time I don't particularly have right now. So I told her, I'll let you choose which deck comes to me. I will give you that freedom, because if it's time for me to have this deck, to start looking at this deck, to start, learning about this deck, then it's time. There's nothing I can do about that. If it's coming to me, if it's choosing me, I have to work with it. I have to learn to roll with it. It's coming to me for a reason. So that is why I have this deck in my possession now. That is why I'm talking to you guys about this now. Again, I do highly suggest, if you are interested at all in this tarot deck or learning about, Aleister Crowley and the Kabbalah and all of the things that he has put into this deck, definitely go check out Joe's video. I will put it in the comments. I will put it in the description box. I want you guys to go watch it, because Joe explains this so very much better than I ever could, because he is extremely researched on this subject. He even mentors people on this specific deck. So, that's what I've got for you today, my friends. If you're at all interested in purchasing this deck, I will put the link to it in the description box. Please understand, there is a different box to the one that I have a link for. I don't know where this box comes from. I just don't. I can't track it down for any reason. But, I don't think that it's a knockoff. I mean, yes, it has that tiny little box, but it does have a barcode with an ISBN number, and it did come with a book. And it, it also has the little extra cards from, whatever Aleister Crowley put in there. So I don't think, this is some kind of weird knockoff. I definitely did my research. There is a pocket edition of this deck. It just so happens to have a different box. And the Thoth, whatever, has also been reinvented a million times, like the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. So I know you can track down 20 different boxes of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, even just the original. I'm sure I could too. So that's why I am giving you guys the link that I am giving you in the description box, okay? So that's what I got for you today, my friends. I really hope that made sense to you guys, why I am not doing a review on it, why I didn't think it was right excuse me, why I didn't think it was right to review it as if it was, a normal deck that I had gotten, because it's not normal by any means, and there's no way that I could rightfully review it for you guys from my standpoint, from my research, from where I am right now in my life, because I have been binging a whole lot of content to try to be able to explain this to you guys, and just the more that I watch, the more lost I am on how to explain this to you guys. So just, I think a really good way to explain it is that, the Rider-Waite-Smith has about 10 hidden images in every card, and Aleister Crowley has about 20 to 30 hidden images in every single card. Not only that, but the difference of names, the difference of meanings in each of these cards, it's probably as far from the Rider-Waite-Smith as you can possibly get. So please, 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 if you guys are at all interested in this deck, please understand, I do not think you should pick it up as a beginner. I do not think you should pick it up without any research, and I do not think that you should pick it up without the intent of research. That means don't just buy it and go, I can intuitively work my way through this. Yes, you can, but should you? Is the difference in what you're going to be working with there. And if you guys don't know anything about Aleister Crowley as well, please look that up. Please do not buy his deck without knowing who he is, just because he's a horse of a different color. So you don't have to believe in Aleister Crowley and his works to work with the deck, clearly. Just like Joe said in his video as well, you don't have to like the musician to like the music. So that's kind of where I stand on that. I'm not a huge supporter of Aleister Crowley. I'm not a huge supporter of his works, and I'm not that's kind of why I've never dove into everything that he teaches. But now, it's with this deck, I'm gonna kind of have to walk the line of learning some things that he put into this deck. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know. I guess that's what I got for you guys today. So wherever you are when this video reaches you, my friends, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Don't forget to check out my links in the description. You know, there's tons of them, or you could just hit my link tree and find my socials, my Etsy shop, everything in there. You already know what it is. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one, my friends. Namaste.